What is the conscious cosmos? What do I mean by the conscious cosmos? And how do you work with it? The conscious cosmos. There's a lot of fairly big concepts that I want to talk about today. The conscious cosmos, as it sounds, is one of them. But what I want to be able to do, I want to be able to help these sometimes very abstract concepts seem far more relatable. For more experienced Dowsers, what I cover in the book is more in-depth or deep concepts, but always relating it to the way that we see life as an energy being. This is the crucial part. As an energy being, not necessarily with all our humanness, when we acknowledge and live our perception from the energy being that is our true self, our soul self within. So conscious cosmos is the overall essence of everything, all that is. I'm not directly using it instead of universe, because as far as I'm concerned, each and every one of us lives and inhabits our own individual unique universe. All of those 8 billion universes go to make up the conscious cosmos. So the conscious cosmos, as far as I am concerned, is absolutely everything. So all experience that would be possible, all possibilities in all dimensions, it is fundamentally just what is and what is possible. So how did I end up here? The catalyst for me was moving house. There's no doubt about it, very simple day-to-day common act. My wife and I moved from Tunbridge Wells in the southeast of England across to the Welsh borders. We bought a house in a little village called Blakeney. That house, which was a gorgeous, big Georgian townhouse, also came with residents that were in the spirit world. And it's those residents, and in particular one that we discovered was a lady, that was the spirit of a lady called Jane. She particularly changed my life. She lived with us in that house for all the time that we were there, more or less, and we lived there for 15 years. I used to have regular dowsing conversations with her, and as it turned out, what I was learning was that she was the guardian energy of the space. She had a responsibility, as she described it, for the earth energy lines that crossed in the house. My wife and I would go there typically on a Sunday morning and have chats with her about life, the universe and everything, and in particular earth energy. The main thing, I guess, at this time of my life that I was learning, not only from Jane, was that my perception of reality was completely changing. I had always seen it as being a fixed thing. Now, one of the things that was very strong in my mind at this time was really the question, am I going mad? Because the changes that I was experiencing were so radically different to anything that I had had before and up to this point. And my older brother, he'd suffered with bipolar disorder and literally had nervous breakdowns and was sectioned under the Mental Health Act. So as I was experiencing the strangeness of encountering Jane, I too thought, well, I think I am going the same way as my brother. But of course, what that experience actually proved was that no, I probably wasn't losing the plot on reality, because I was still seeing life as something that I could interact with. And the crucial thing about that was the power of the subjective nature of our awareness. In my book, I describe earth energy as being something like the carrier of our reality. So I describe it, I use the term substrate. It's like the substrate of our reality. Now a substrate, this is a beautiful description of what earth energy is as far as I'm concerned. The substrate of our reality. The best example of a substrate is soil that we have in our garden. A substrate is something that feeds other aspects of nature in order for it to grow. So the soil in the garden or the soil in the fields is feeding the grass, is feeding the trees, all the plants and flowers and all the rest of it. So it's present. The things growing in it couldn't be there without the substrate. And that's how I regard earth energy. Us and everything we experience couldn't be present without earth energy. Now you'll say, well, how's that possible? How's that possible? Because you've got lines running around all over the place, you've got vortices all over the place, you've got that, but I'm not in those lines, I'm not in those vortices. Well, yes, you are actually, because as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not the only one that thinks like this, but this is the way that I see it, Earth energy is absolutely everywhere, and when we find a line, what we're finding is a high concentration of Earth energy. We're finding a high concentration of information flow. It's the basic sort of exercises that we can do as dowsers with Earth energy that really show us this. Now on the screen here we've got the fundamental, the basics of what everybody learns about when they douse Earth energy. You douse your most positive and beneficial power center anywhere, and you're going to get the spiral, the vortex. You're going to get the straight line radials coming out, and you're going to get the lemniscates, that's the infinity symbols. A couple of those, easy to find. And then you get the five-pointed star. It's actually the original, the most sacred symbol that there is, because it represents Earth's response to us as the dowser on an individual subjective basis. So when we douse the five-pointed star, what is happening is that Earth energy, the consciousness of Earth energy, and therefore of everything that is saying, I see you, I see you. And I see you through this symbol, which says each of these arms one of them represents earth, air, fire, water, spirit. These are the aspects and the way that I, the earth, sees us as energy beings. So it's a brilliant and lovely exercise to do this. What I would say to any dowser is crack on and really get to know your earth energy power center and work with this symbol, because every time you douse that earth energy power center and ask for the five-pointed star, you will plot it like in all sorts of different ways. Clearly, my energy was not in a good balanced relationship with itself, and that's really what it shows. But what this really shows as a simple exercise is the way that we can, and the way that we do, constantly interact with earth energy. Earth energy knows we are here all the time. At the quantum level, we're not really dealing with matter. What we're actually dealing with is that quantum physics is about possibility. It is not about things. The quantum field works on the principle of energy going into it, being reflected back as form. Simple as that. We're living in this perceptual universe, which is created around us constantly from possibility, shaped by our perception of what is possible.